Hello, and welcome to the Author's Den podcast, where we help authors share their message to the world. Join us as we feature unique conversations and get ready to be inspired. Now, let's get started with the show.
And now welcome the amazing Lizzie T.
Wow, what a day. What an incredible show we have prepared for you today. This is going to be, I'm hoping that a motivational, inspiring, enlightening, my goodness, this is going to be for you what you probably are looking for. A lot of people are thinking, how can I overcome certain things? How can I become a certain body? How can I overcome my problems? Wow, I have an answer for you today. Yes, I do. Thanks to my incredible, amazing guest today, Dr. Ken. Wow, you are in for a treat. I know that there is solutions for everybody's problem all over the world, and it's up to us to dig. And today you don't have to dig. You don't have to go Google. You don't have to go, because the answer is right here for you. This fellow, it's incredible. We're going to be talking today to Dr. Salar A. He is an MD and ABM, MBA, incredible author, not just of this book that we're going to be discussing today, but of other books that he's going to tell you later on today. So Dr. Ken has 50 years of experience as a successful leader, physician, medical college professor, healthcare executive, and a family man. Of course, behind every great man there is an awesome woman, with life lesson and self-assessment tools included. This motivational blueprint will boost your personal transformational self-esteem. People are suffering right now, especially the last 2 years. The pandemic has completely destroyed some self-esteem, and even, I hate to touch that, but we have to, people that have, even contemplating suicide because of what is going on. I know that if you know somebody, you can definitely recommend this book. This exists today, widespread lack of confidence, leadership, whatever a business, government, education, or elsewhere. This vision of confident leader, that L, is needed for the betterment of the world. So Dr. Ken will be talking today about unlocking the natural born leader's ability, and it's you have to tune in, everyone. We will get all the information, how to get your book, how to get in touch with Dr. Ken, and how to being able to help yourself. And this is all about helping yourself through tools like the Unlocking Natural Born Leaders Ability book. And if you see the cover, which you probably are right now, you can see that there's a key to a brain, because some of the answers are there already, and I can guarantee those. So, let's welcome him with a wonderful round of applause. Hello.
Hello, yes, hi.
How are you doing? I know you're excited as much as I am.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yes.
So Dr. Ken, let's start with the person, because I always like to dig a little bit more, not just the author, the business person, the doctor, the entrepreneur, but also the person. So we know that you are a family man. So Dr. Ken, are you, have grandkids yet? Have kids? Have a significant other? What's your life like?
Oh, my life is very good, and I'm lucky. I have a wonderful, beautiful wife and two sons, and both having a medical degree, become a doctor, and now they are doing their residency in Chicago as a doctor. And so ultimately, I'm a very blessed and happy person, and it is all happened because of my parents. And if you allow me, I can give you a heads up why I wrote this book, what thing inspired me to write this book. And writing a book is not a easy thing, as you know, and everyone.
Yes,
So,
yes. I love for you to share this because I know that there is a balance and a background and definitely an inspiration from this which will help other people, and that's really the purpose that we do the Author's Den, because we want to be able to inspire people. But one thing that you said is I really need to emphasize. I am married to a beautiful, wonderful woman, and that says so much. I mean, kudos to you, and congratulations. And if your wife is listening, you should hear this, ma'am, because he acknowledged you, and that is a big, big thing for us women, wives, mothers, daughters, and sisters to have the acknowledgement of our significant other and say, thanks to my beautiful wife. So, yeah, I wanted to say that, and also an acknowledgement to your parents, because that's what made you who you are. So absolutely, please take it away. Your parents was a real big inspiration to you, and yeah, tell us why.
so now I will start with my childhood, because this is very important. And no one can become a very good, strong, positive thinker leader unless they have a very good home environment during the early childhood. Because if I have a abusive type of the parents and bad neighborhood or anything else, we cannot expect that our kids are going to be a very good student, leader, professionals in future or anything else. So the leadership starts from home. And I will tell you, because that is another topic in my fourth book, I am writing on it, more than 80% I completed. And that is called Cultivation of the Global Leadership Mind and Skill Set, a Unique Training Manual. So ultimately, this topic is very important. When the baby born, they are all having a subconscious mind is a slate like empty. And then they start picturizing surroundings and all those things. And they, although we don't remember until by the age of 5 or 6 or 7 years, but after that we start thinking about, oh yes, I was 7 years, I was doing this and that, like that. So that is come up in the memories. But now the science is advancing so much, and in future we are going to find out what we were doing and thinking at the age of 2 months, 6 months, 1 year, or like that. So that is just an introduction. That is my real topic in the fourth book. But what happened at the age of 12 years? What happened? My school was in the morning, and then they changed the shift to afternoon. So usually I finish my homework in the evening time, and the daytime I just free and doing nothing. So one day I asked my mother, I want to help you in the kitchen. I want to see what you are doing the whole day and preparing food 3 times, fresh food for all of us. So she said, okay, you have finished your homework and everything. I said, yes. Then after that, she said, okay. And after that, what happened, I started learning and doing whatever she was telling me. And I was highly obedient, and I was very respectful to my mother and my father. And I was helping my father also, going to the bank and paying the bills and all those things. As well as at the home, I was start doing the home organization and putting the things here and there, cleaning this kitchen things like that, and then helping preparing the food with my mother and all those things. So ultimately, I noticed that my mother at one time preparing 2, 3, 4 different type of the dishes, and she was having a very good time management. And nothing is going to burn. Everything is timely. And then she is putting all those ingredients of the food, just guesswork. Just she can take 1 spoon, 2, 3, 5, without thinking what she is doing. And then she can prepare a very delicious food. And she is preparing the food for my 5 brother and sister living together, and my father and my mother also. So ultimately, we are all having a different preferences before going to the school, college, and anything like that. And she was taking care for all those things. So, and she never failed. She never missed our timing to go to college or school, anything. She has a window of 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Now the son number one is coming, two is coming, daughter is coming, this and that. So ultimately, I practice and I observe. And after that, within 6 months or 1 year, I become perfect in my time management. Whatever she designates to do, Salar, I'm ready to do, and I was doing it very confidently and very perfectly, and everything is on time. And still, that habit I have. And I have a very good, perfect time management at my work, at my organization. I'm dealing with a lot of complex problems and issues and projects, huge projects. So ultimately, I'm completing 2 to 3 weeks prior to the deadline. That is, I came from my parents, whatever I learned at the age of 12 years. So that is the one important thing. The other thing is that in the beginning, I was doing mistakes. So as my parents, what they say, they never shout on me, what you did, this, that. No. She reassured me. She said, oh, no problem. It is going to happen. When you are doing something, the things are happening like that. Don't worry. Next time you will do it in a right way. So in that way, reassurance, start building my self-confidence. And this self-confidence is so strong, then after 1 year, 2 years, when nobody at home, they went for some marriage ceremony or anywhere else, I start preparing the food myself. And then to see where I stand, I can do it alone or not. So that is another ability I start finding myself. So basically my idea at that time, it is all like that. And then what happened when I was at the 10th grade and it was a summer vacation, I was reading one fiction novel. I loved that novel. And I read 4 or 5 times. And you cannot imagine, I just think once or twice at that time, perhaps maybe I'm going to write a number of the books in future. Although at that time I was not having what I'm saying, what I'm thinking. But it was stored in my subconscious mind. But now I feel when 2017 I start writing the book. So then at that time I start thinking and everything is coming just like a film in my mind. And I was thinking during my entire career and busy life as a pulmonologist, physician, psychiatrist, and hospital director, management, and everything like that. And so much so busy. But the turning point came on March 16, 2016. Suddenly my elder sister, younger brother, son was sitting on a carpet and he just fell on the carpet and died suddenly without any alarm, without any disease or any alarm or anything else. So ultimately I noticed that the life is highly unpredictable. Why I'm waiting to write a book after my retirement? And then in December 2016, I start writing my book. And then within 2 months, I completed that book, and then it published in March 2017. So this is the thing, what the message I'm going to tell the audience, that if you have a plan, you think about it, you tell your subconscious mind that you are going to do that. And you cannot imagine after that thought, I start thinking more positively. I start learning more and more because in my subconscious mind, telling my real conscious mind that, oh, you have to do this, you have to do in order to learn more and more confidence to something best in your future career. So it works definitely in a very nice way with me, and that's why I have no problem to write 1, 2, 3 books and now writing 4th book also. And I have a plan for my 5th book.
The discipline that you have, it's incredible. One of the things that I want to be able to comment, Dr. Khan, is the ability and the preciousness, and I have to say pressure because what you've encountered with your parents, especially with your mom, 2 strong women in your life, obviously your wife and your woman, but to be able to notice, to be able to acknowledge, and to be able to realize that your mother was not just a wife, a housewife. She had a task. She was organized. She was able to handle many tasks all at once, and you were able to see it because a lot of kids, they take it for granted. Those things do not enter, especially nowadays with the way technology is and kids carrying cell phones on their hands. I don't know if that would be able to be captured. And I'm so honor and so glad that you were able to do that in order for you to benefit other people that are listening to us right now, that you saw that. And one of the things that your mom taught you, your parents rather taught you, that even though you were able to do exactly the same thing as your mom, multitask, be concerned with many things all at once, but they never was censored. They never censor you. They always give you reassurance. They never push back, or they reproach you for making mistakes. That's key. But one of the questions that I have for you, Dr. Can, is that what about for people that didn't have that kind of a stability? And I'm not sure your background, where you're from. I sense a little accent, but what about that families are not as stable? They don't have parents that you had. I'm blessed that I had similar parents like yours, which my father, very disciplined, started businesses early in age and it's finished. But what about people that are listening to us right now or will be listening in the future and saying, well, that is great that Lizzie and Dr. Can had parents that were able to nourish them to grow and to write books like what you are talking about, unlock the natural born leader. I didn't have the fortune, the blessing to be growing up like that. My parents were drug addicts, they were alcoholic, they were abusive. How can I change my life around with that kind of environment that I had as a 10-year-old like you had?
This is very good question for the audience. And so the point is that we cannot make our parents. It is our luck, what type of the parents we got it. And that's why I'm focusing in my fourth book that how we are going to educate our parents before they plan to have a baby. So that component will come soon. And now my parents, what they did, they are very honest. And that's the question, that they have to build a confidence in the kids. And confidence means my mother was telling every time, don't worry. You have ability to do it. You can make it impossible to possible. And I remember all the time, whenever I'm in difficulties and anything, these words came to my mind. And immediately I received some great inspiration and my body become more motivated to do it. And then I'm ready to go for it. And then my always achievement target is 100%. So since my childhood until now, try my best and to get almost 100%. So many times, 100%, I received this achievement. So basically, the audience, they may have different type of the parents. Definitely, we are all human beings, and it is just my luck, my fortune. But I can suggest them that if the parents, if they plan to have their babies and everything, so they can little bit discipline themselves. They can avoid the drug or alcohol or anything. And if their habit is very hard for them. But the only thing is that if really they plan what type of the kids they want in their future, in the career, so we have to learn how to sacrifice as a father and mother. If we are not sacrificing, our kids are not going to sacrifice in their career, in their future. And they think everything is very easy to get. And once they are not able to get it, they become very much stressed out, tense. And then they are doing the wrong things. They also get involved into the drug and everything like that.
Yes. So the cycle continues, unfortunately, and I can tell by what you have learned from your parents, you have definitely passed it on to your kids, because obviously you have successful sons, daughters that are able to pursue medical school as well, because you were able to share your beliefs, your learning, your confidence. You were able to pass that to your kids. And I've seen many families or many people that have, and many of them have gone through my show as well, that had no way, shape, or form, because of the situation that they were born, that they would be able to leave or break the chains like we were talking earlier. And they had the plan. And that's one of the things that I love about what you said. There is a plan when it comes to a point in people's life. They realize this is enough. I cannot continue living like this. The teachings that I received or that I saw from my parents are not productive. I need a way out. I need a plan, and that's imperative. And I love to find out, for people to get more information. How do we unlock? Right? You talked about, is this all in the subconscious? You have, I know for a fact that things happen when you have information in your subconscious and comes to fruition. You can see it happening. It's happened to me when I wrote things 10 years ago, and I said I was going to have my talk show, and I was going to publish my book. And not that, it's mystical or anything like that. It just stays in your subconscious, and it, later on in life, when you're ready to do it, it triggers. I believe that 100%. So yeah, to have another book to teach parents to pass that to your kids, it is so important. Don't you agree?
Oh yeah, 100%. That's true. And then another thing I will tell you because the good training in the early childhood is very important. And my mother used to tell every night a very interesting moral stories. And we all, brother and sister, sit together on a one bed and listen. And she was telling verbal story, and she is just real to the life and all those things, and we enjoy a lot. And then I practiced the same pattern. I wrote in this book also, Unlocking the Natural Born Leader's Ability. And the key in the brain, in the book cover, is indicating how we can unlock our mind and subconscious to get the result, to become a natural born leader. So ultimately, I also practiced to my two kids when they were young. And for 10 years, every night, in spite of all my different commitment as a physician, doctor, so much so. So ultimately, I was telling moral stories, verbal, without any reading book or anything else, and making a humor and all those things. So it helps to develop a bonding between the father and the two sons, number one. Number two, the story is so attractive. Then they start thinking. Their intellectual thinking, abstract thinking is developing according to the listening of moral stories. And there was some humor also. They start laughing on that. So ultimately, in that way, when they've grown up, they are able to write their own abstract thinking on the paper. And that's why they are all having their grades higher, and they compete. A lot of students, they study in the University of Chicago, and then they go to the medical college, medical school, medical university, and all those things they have done. And now they are doing residency as a doctor. So ultimately, I want to tell our audience they can also, whatever they want to make their kids in their future. They want attorney, physician, professional, good citizen. So everything is based on our parents in the initial phases. And now I also grown up. Afterward, in the same environment, the other kids are growing in Pakistan, Karachi. And always you know that we don't have any ideal environment in our neighborhood. So ultimately, but because of the good teaching and the good foundation by my parents, I exposed with a lot of our friends. They are smoking and everything, but I never smoke. So this is the thing we are going to teach, and in my fourth book, I'm going to train everyone, try to avoid to make a bad habits. And then another thing is that the basic concept about this unlocking the natural born leader's ability. So the main thing is that everybody born equal. Everybody is having a lot of hidden potentials and talents, and we have to discover our talents by doing the things, by doing hard work, spending time. In the United States, I noticed the people when at work we say you do this extra work, we have big project and everything coming, they say, oh, it is not my job. I'm not getting money for that. Whatever is written in my job description, I will do that. So ultimately, they lose the opportunity of learning. They are getting free of cost to get involved, put little bit more time to learn and find a new skill to perform under a stressful situation, high pressure situation in the organization, working under the leaders to learn something good, to improve ourselves. If we are not going to ready to learn, improve ourselves, we stagnate and we are just working 10, 15, $20 per hour and we are not moving forward to become a supervisor, manager or director or maybe the leadership role. It comes because you further refine with due course of time, getting involved, and then the real test for the good leadership is always come when there is a crisis. And right now you notice that one during the COVID era, last 2 years, all leaders of they are totally failure. Their minds are not working. They don't know what to do.
But one of the things that I wanted to elaborate on what you said, your mind needs to be constantly working. I have a perfect example. My mother, 80-year-old woman, not a hint of, thank God, of sickness, completely lucid, brain bright, and always learning. She has a computer, she has a tablet, she has, she knows how to manage the internet, whereas a lot of my friends of my age, and I'm not going to tell you how old I am, all of their mothers and fathers and grandmothers, they're in senior homes right now, unfortunately, not mobile. My mother walks an hour every day, and she's very, very, she's always planning to do something, and even, she was just telling me the other day, maybe I should go back to school and take a course or do something, and I said, absolutely. So that proves everyone that a bright mind, a brain that has something to look forward, something to work towards, it's a bright mind, and it's a mind that will definitely get things done, accomplish. And you were talking about kids, you were not reading, but you were telling your kids' story. That reminds me, when I was a little girl, that I used to actually listen to radio programs, and my imagination completely soared because I didn't see TV. There was no TV. It was just a radio program, and all the sounds, it made you imagine that you were there, and your mind, your brain just went 100 miles just trying to figure it out in your mind, painting a picture in your mind, and that is so good for you, and that helps the growth and the creativity of everyone. It doesn't matter if you're a child, if you're older, and we're lacking of that, especially nowadays when everything needs to be fast and everything needs to be instant. And, so selfishness is number one. We need to take a little bit a step backwards. Science is good, technology is great, but we need to make sure that those things are not, we cannot forget how important it is, how your mind to keep working in a sense that you are not being old. I don't like to use that word because old is really a state of mind. I don't consider my 80-year-old mother being an old person. To me, she's just a young lady. So absolutely, I love that about you. Dr. Ken, I don't want to forget because time just flies here on Author's Den, and I wanted to make sure that people that are listening to us right now can get their own copy of Unlocking the Natural Born Leader Ability. So where can people find more information and get their copies?
Yeah, it is available at Amazon, amazonbooks.com, and they can just type in my name and title of the book. They can find it. And it is also available at the Archway Publishing, Ex Libris, and it is also available at my webpage. And I can tell my webpage, www.doctor, D-O-C-T-O-R, Salar, S-A-L-A-R, Khan, KHAN, it's all one word, .com. And this display all my 3 books and my interviews and leadership abilities and my blogs and all those things are there. So our audience, they are going to learn a lot by reading all those materials. And if they can Google search only Salar Khan, MD, MBA, they can find me on the Google, and they can find all my different interviews, book trailers, and all those things. And this Unlocking the Natural Born Leader's Ability, actually, it is the extract of my leadership abilities as a physician. So I discovered the clinical intuition as well as leadership intuition. Clinical intuition means as a doctor. So I was treating and managing the patient in Saudi Arabia, Pakistan. I was just see the patient, and 60-70% I diagnose their illness. And then I immediately on the spot giving the treatment, and they are responding very well. So this is very surprising things which I got it because of I mobilized my subconscious mind where we develop our intuition. That means inner sense. And sometimes what happens, we are getting a lot of thoughts, positive and negative. So our mind is just making a balance, what type of the thought you are going to take consideration. If my environment and my childhood is good and I'm a positive thinker, I will take all positive thinking coming into the mind. And I remember that every day everyone is having more than 65,000 thoughts. Out of that, 45,000 thoughts are negative, and remaining 20,000 thoughts are positive. So if we are positive thinkers, our mind is taking the positive thoughts in between they are coming. And then you suddenly, so many times in your life, notice that, oh, you got this idea, it's very good. And then you can start processing and thinking in that direction. And then in order to accomplish something, you get more experience, more training, and more hard work to get into the positive thinking and the positive result. And in that way, you are going to develop a new skill related to that particular hard work. So that's the change going to make our thinking process as well as to develop a new skill, new thought, new experience, and your observation is going to become a very strong. And then, so I design in my book by just using all those things practically as a doctor, as a physician, as an attending physician, psychiatrist, that everybody can have these 10 abilities for the natural-born leaders, and that is insightfulness and self-confidence, and intrinsic motivation. The third is integrity or trust, communication and listening skills, sacrifice. As a doctor, we have to sacrifice our time, not making the money, sacrifice for the patient's life, to work hard extra time to save the life of the patient. And then there is another thing is the patience as well as composure and open-mindedness and courage and compassion and optimism. So these 10 things I developed when I was practicing as a doctor. So ultimately, I noticed that all these clinical intuitions make me a good decision maker, clear decision and clarity of mind, build more self-confidence, building my own self-motivation. After each success, I feel happy in my heart, and I say myself, okay, I did today something good, appreciate myself. So in that way, it is boosting my moral and thinking, and I have no tiredness of the whole day work or anything else, because I have an initiative and new things coming up and making my endorphin releasing in my body, and ultimately I getting a very good feeling. And that's the thing, the people getting more and more, and they can do a lot of work, and in shorter period of the time, their time management will be perfect, and their decision making will be perfect, and they are not afraid to make the decision. And why I write this book, because many organizations where I work internationally, the leaders are afraid to make the decision, because they thought if something goes wrong, they are going to fire from the work. And ultimately, if they are not making decision, they are going to fire because they are incompetent. They are not giving work to the organization as a positive outcome. So that's the things provoke me to write something, and then I'm not afraid for making decision, because the thing is that sometimes what happens, we have to make the decision today, and we don't have time to make the decision tomorrow. So it's a very simple formula I design in my mind, and I can go whatever currently the data is available, and then I use my subconscious mind, my intuition, my inner senses, what they are telling me, how I can make this decision today. So in that way, I can find the clue from the subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind creating the hard thought process inside, and the loud feeling coming up, and there is some soft feeling coming up. So I focus on more soft feeling, and that soft feeling coming from my subconscious mind. And the audience may be thinking that what I'm talking about, because it will come by practice and feeling. Because I spent my 50 years to find these innovative discovery for myself, and I want to give it to the public, and then they can start working on it, and ultimately they are going to be the good decision maker. And the leader is not means the political leader. The leader can make the decision either as a father, as a parent, as a mother, or as a school teacher or college teacher. Everybody is making decision in their daily life. And sometimes it is a good, sometimes bad, no problem. I'm not afraid with making decision, because I have an option to make the correction. If something goes wrong, immediately I have analysis in my mind. I can make an alternative remedial action and to correct that one. That's no harm. It's good. So ultimately, every time you succeed, outcome is good, you feel happy in the heart. You feel more energy. And your refinement in the mind for making decision is going on for the long time. And ultimately, most of the time, within few seconds, if there is any issue, any problem, you think about it, 4 or 5 solutions will come up in the mind. And then you can pick which one is prioritized to make the decision at this point. And these are the novel thoughts, novel ideas. And all leaders, they are not having that one.
One of the things that I love what you just said, that most of the time the answer to that solution is right in your mind. And we doubt ourselves so many times. People doubt themselves. Professionals doubt themselves so many times. And if you do make a decision which is not the correct one, admit, and being able to be big enough to admit or to say that you made the wrong decision. And there is time, hopefully there is time to fix it and to do the right decision. Now, one of the things that we talked to, I heard you talking about is endorphin. And you are a happy person. You are a very optimistic, obviously, because you wrote this book. What I noticed, too, is especially with the youth, the young generation, they're sorting to artificial endorphin. And unfortunately, we're talking about drugs, we're talking about medication that makes people to be happy artificially. And the way I say artificial is because they can't be happy for themselves. What would you say, or as a doctor, is one of the ways to make someone to have those natural endorphins?
Yes, the natural endorphin, when we do exercise, we are positive thinking, achieving our goals and target on daily basis. So ultimately, you learn how to feel happy in your heart. Happiness is not that I'm getting $1 million today, I feel happy. That happiness will be for 10, 15 minutes. If I'm going to use some drug or something to become happy, it is just for 20, 30, 1 hour, 2 hours. After that, depression. It is a real feeling. And that is come from the bottom of the heart. And every day, every moment, after finishing this interview, I will put my hand on my heart. I say, okay, I did something good for the humanity, for the public, for the audience, for the people. Whatever I wrote, I try my best to explain. And I can speak 24 to 48 hours about all these leaders.
I could tell. I could definitely tell, Dr. Khan, that you could talk on this subject forever. But a lot of people that are listening to you right now, they're thinking, well, he's too full of himself. He thinks too highly. I can't be putting my hand on my chest and saying to myself, I did a good job. My answer is, and probably you have a different answer or maybe a similar, why not? It's not like you're being too proud or thinking that you're too much. It's just a way, and I see it because I do it myself. I see it as I am being a productive person right now, sharing my guess, because this is your story, not mine. I'm just a little platform that sharing this for others to benefit, and that is my part in this world. And I'm not being conceited or thinking too high of myself for doing that, but I'm just thankful that I am allowed to be an instrument in this world for others to benefit. What is your answer if somebody's saying, why do you think so highly of yourself? Isn't that too big of you?
Yeah, the question is that, first of all, I love myself. I love my family. I love my parents. I love the humanity in my heart, in my body, every time. And whatever I am performing and doing, I have a love and passion towards the humanity. That gives me a lot of energy, number one. Number two is that I am always ready to perform a lot of work without looking forward for getting any award or reward externally. No. Internal awards and reward, I believe on that. And that gives me a very good feeling. And I never feel tired. Every day I'm working 15 to 18 hours. And I'm very happy. And then I'm writing the book, doing full-time job and everything like that, and holding a top position at my work as a leadership and dealing with a lot of human beings, a lot of employees, and to work with that. So ultimately, these things and passion, honesty, sincerity, ready to sacrifice my work or anywhere. If somebody say, oh, we need some help, I'm always there. I'm always volunteer myself. And the other people, they say, no, it is not their job. Why they will do it? At work, the management call me to go and do help the other departments sometimes if they have any trouble. I go happily and then I resolve their issues. And it is very easy for me. So that type of the feeling, it takes time. I spend a lot of time, a lot of hard work, and I remember that I didn't waste my time. If I am on the bed in the morning after wake up during the weekend, if I am not feeling to sleep more or anything, I just get out from my bed. I start working. Every day I have my task, 4 or 5 different tasks. I start doing it. Sometimes I feel frustrated to do some task. It may be very difficult. So I stop that one there. And then I can start with an easier task. And then I can complete that one. And then I put my hand on my heart. I say, yes, I did that one. Very good. So I reassure myself. I have ability. I can do it. Nothing is impossible. I remember my mother's word. It is energizing me.
So it's not that you are conceited or you think too highly of yourself, but it's just a positive and a reassurance that you are worthy and that you deserve the praise that you're given, and also you know that you have accomplished something to help others. So I completely understand. I'm the same way, Dr. Ann, and I agree with you 100%. And a lot of people don't feel worthy right now or don't feel that they deserve, don't have that assurance. Well, that's why we're introducing Dr. Can for you, and obviously the book Unlocking the Natural Born Leader's Ability. So the abilities are there, and they are inside of you, and there are we just need to trigger them, and this book can definitely help you. You can find this book on Amazon, on Dr. Can's website. All this will be posted on the Authors Den platform for you to be able to dig a little bit, get in touch with Dr. Can, and get a lot more information. A lot of other people are listening to this and probably thinking, well, this is too easy for you to say, Lizzie. Not, it isn't. I was not always here. I've had up and downs, like some of you know. I've shared some of my stories, but you can always you can always choose to lift yourself up. I could just, put my hands up and say I give up. Trust me, that has crossed my mind, but I refuse. There's too many wonderful people just like Dr. Salar that are needed to be exposed, needed to be shown to the world. The books that he's writing is to help incredible people that are probably suffering or probably not there where they need to be. They need to be in a place for them to benefit others in this beautiful, beautiful world that our Creator has created. So this is very, very important. For your other books, Dr. Can, that you are working, can you tell us when those books are coming up and when can we expect more of that? And a little bit, you did touch a little bit of what these books are all about, but can you give us when are we expecting?
Okay, so my second book, it is already published, and that is Am I Burnout at Work? A Self-Care Solution. And why I wrote this book? Because I was reading a magazine indicating that every year 400 physicians committing suicide because of the chronic stress. And then I dig into the detail into the topic because I'm also physician, doctor, so I know that what exactly the stress is, acute chronic stress, and what is the feeling of the patient or the person who is suffering from this one. And even then, this is very common among the topmost CEOs, professionals, human resource people, and all others like teachers, students, healthcare CEOs. So because the reason is that they have a high expectation, and but when they are not able to reach to the climax, high expectation, then they start depressing. And then they are reducing their accomplishment at the work to deal with the, we can call that the target or the project is going down. So in that way, poor efficiency and poor work output, so ultimately they are fired from the work. And they try to overcome, but they don't understand what is going on inside their body as a burnout, because that stress is increase the forgetfulness, and it is leading to frustration, fatigue, exhaustion, anxiety. Then it goes on to cause hopelessness, helplessness, depression. Then at the end, suicidal thought, taking drugs, alcohol, and all those things making worse their conditions. And at that point, they think the life is worthless, no need to survive, and they lost the purpose of living on this earth. So ultimately, they are committing suicide. So this book
and
is,
unfortunately, Dr. Ken, this is definitely one of the biggest, number one. I would say, as a little research that I have done, more so than the pandemic itself, because I've seen the last 2 years, and I've attempt of suicide, especially in the youth, people of business, and successful, I don't know if I want to use that word, but completion of finishing with their life more than ever before in the last 2 years. So I am so, so happy that you are able to bring this to enlightening people to get that book. Definitely, I am burned out at work. This is incredible, and something new. Really, another one. You don't seem to amaze me at all. Look at you. This is called Shaping the Future of Global Leadership, Finding a Peaceful Solution. I'm very, very curious about this one.
yeah, this book is highly relevant today's scenario. And December 2019, I wrote in this book, page number 31, that the world is moving towards Third World War and nuclear war. That was my anticipation at that time when I was writing this book. And that's the reason I want to explain our world leaders, either they are prime minister or president or any CEOs, any top positions, how they are going to manage their leadership ability for the benefit of the humanity, for the betterment of the world. Because this is very important. Because the decisions are made by different type of the leaders, and that leaders belongs to the different part of the world. Their cultures are different. Their thinking process is different. Their environment grown up in a different way. So ultimately, it's very hard to find a sincere, honest, sacrificing global leaders. When I say the word global means anyone who is dealing with the world countries as a leader of the world. So ultimately, this book provided so many guidelines how they are going to improve their leadership, gaining their confidence. Every day they have to make certain decisions because the world is now polarized, and more polarization, more dispute, more conflict, leading towards more, what can I say, war or damaging the peace of the world. And the people feel fear. They start accumulating the ammunition and bomb, drone, and all those things. The all negative things. Everybody want to protect themselves, right?
Absolutely.
So,
We need to have you back, Dr. Can, to for 45 minutes. It's almost an hour right now. We've been talking, but you know what? You're worth it. But that book itself needs at least an hour of conversation. I have some research of my own and some input of my own, but absolutely, this one needs a show all on itself because it is a topic, a very, very interesting topic, a little bit controversial, I have to admit, but
no,
but
that's
it
fine.
needs.
I understand. Yeah, I understand that it is controversial because the question is that we have a different type of the culture people. Some are the believers, some are disbelievers. So I'm not going to hurt their feeling because of that one. The question is that if I am a disbeliever, I don't believe on God, no problem, all right? But at least I can perform a good quality care for the public, for the people. There
That's
is
right.
no problem if you don't believe on God. If I believe on God, I have a fear in my heart. If I will do something wrong, one day the God is going to ask me. That is my personal feeling. I'm not imposing everyone to do
That's
in
right.
that direction.
And
No,
I'm
it is
glad
just
that you've taken that position that way. Nobody comes and says anything. But Dr. Can, I am so upped up right now. You are such a breath of fresh air. To be able to have you here with us at Author's Den, talking about an incredible life that you have, and not only that, the example that you are bringing to people from all over the world, and the hope and the inspiration, definitely it is, like I said before, a breath of fresh air. The book, everyone, is called Unlocking the Natural Born Leader by Dr. Salar Can. Please check it out on Amazon or on his website. It has been such an honor to speak with you. I know we can go on all night, but unfortunately there is so much time in the air that we have, but you are to be congratulated. Big applause to you for all the work that you continue to do to better our brothers and sisters around the world, our fellow human beings. You are an example of a true servant. Love it.
So before we leave, I just want to tell the title of my fourth book, which I am writing, Cultivation of Global Leadership Mind Skill Sets, a Unique Training Manual. So the reason is that in this book, I'm going to provide the educational tips for our parents who are going to have babies and all, and the parents who have their kids 10 years, 20 years, 30 years age, how they are going to manage and their polish their leadership abilities. It's very easy. And then the leaders who are at the age of 40, 45, 50, 60, 70 years age, there is some suggestion and there will be a self-evaluation questionnaire to check their leadership abilities. And then there is a personality things also, because everybody's personality is different. So everybody can understand according to their personality. Some are positive thinker, negative thinker, extroverted, introverted. So these are the different things. So that thing is explaining to all these things, and it is making a good thing. And the other thing is that in this mindset, because everything is a mindset. If somebody is having a mindset to go into the war, so ultimately that mindset is damaging the world, and how they can make a positive outcome to avoid the war or anything else. Because we are all ordinary public and people, we don't know what is going on at
That's
the
right.
political levels or leadership levels and all those things. So I suggested that in my third book, Shaping the Future, I suggested a new organization to evaluate the credentials of all leaders of the world, to make sure they have some knowledge, some decision making and everything. And before they are going to participate in the election of any country as a prime minister or president, they are going to go through the psychiatric and psychological evaluation to make sure they are mentally sound to hold the office as the president and prime minister of any country in the world. So in that way,
Awesome.
yeah, and in that way we can screen out and what they are good and what they are not. And other thing is that I also suggested in third book, Shaping of the Future of the Global Leadership, the training program, annual training programs and all those things, so they can get regular training to be polished themselves. Because as a doctor, we are also having a training. As an attorney, they are also working as a law, they are also having a training. So everybody is having the training. Why not our leaders have some training?
I think it's definitely a must, definitely. And one of the things I remember too, that as a parent, as a brand new parent, going to your book that you're just writing right now, I remember saying, I wish somebody could give me how to be a new parent, and there is the answer. A little bit late for me, but not late for people that are just starting. Dr. Ken, I cannot believe time just flying here. We are going to be cut off, and I hate for you to be, but it's been an honor and a pleasure being with us. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful afternoon, and yes, thank you.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak your audience about all these books. And really, I want to make a difference. And it is my belief that one person can make a difference.
Absolutely.
And that difference is going towards the betterment of the humanity on our beautiful, beautiful earth. I love the world, the people, the countries, everything. It is my things, because we all leaders and scientists, they make a lot of progress nowadays as compared to 100 years or 200 years before. So
that's right.
Why we are damaging our world, why we are making fight and killing the innocent people and other people, they have nothing to do with the conflict between the leaders, not the public.
And I believe that you can definitely make a difference. Don't ever go believing that you can't, because maybe you can't reach everybody, but you can reach to the key person. Thank you so much.
All right.
And we'll talk to you soon. Okay, everyone, that is it for our show. Thank you. This was incredible. I hope you enjoyed. I know you enjoyed. The Author's Den was brought to you by the publishing company, and I love all of you. We'll see you soon. Thank you. I'm your host, Lizzie of Author's Den.
Thank you for listening to another exciting episode of the Author's Den podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the show so you don't miss any of our future episodes. That's all for now. We'll see you next time.